Oh, I can see. Meeting with my wife.
All right. Are we live now?
Yeah.
We're live on Facebook. Yes, we are. All right, let me share this. We will get started soon, everyone. Cool. We already got 6 people online. They're ready. They're ready. Okay. All right, 6 o'clock. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Alrighty. All right, so good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Cincinnati Herald's Influencers, a weekly talk show to share young voices. My name is Nailah Edwards. I am one of the 7 influencers, and I will be your evening host today. Earlier, we had Morgan A. Owens as the morning host with her special guest, Keith Jenkins. So if you missed the influencer show this morning, be sure to go back and take a look at that and like, share, and comment. If you have been keeping up with the influencers, you've probably heard my voice before on the radio, or you've probably watched some of my old show reruns. Of course, we are not back in the Buzz radio station as of yet to host our shows due to the pandemic, but that's okay because this platform is working until further notice. So, if you did not catch my show the last time, my show consists of introducing you to the amazing, talented, and hardworking youth of Cincinnati, as well as speaking on influential topics that are important for our younger generation. So today, I will be introducing you to 2 University of Cincinnati students, Quoran Knight and Akua Wilson. Quoran is a 4th year majoring in mechanical engineering technology with a minor in Africana Studies from Columbus, Ohio, and Akua is a double major in criminal justice and women's gender and sexuality studies from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Quoran and Akua are UC's African American Cultural and Resource Center's Mr. and Mrs. Kuamka 2020, King and Queen winners. For those of you who don't know what Kuamka means, it means in the beginning or awakening. And this pageant experience was created by Dr. Eric Abercrombie in the AACRC staff at UC in 1999. Miss Nikki is not on yet, but Miss Awaniki Moore Hawkins was the coldest, of course, and the first to ever be crowned Mrs. Kuamka in 1999. And she is also now, tears here, the former director of the African American Cultural and Resource Center at UC. So the center and the UC community is super sad that Mrs. Nikki had to recently leave us, but if you know her personally, you know that she is a phenomenal woman, a huge trailblazer, and she left an impact on so many people's lives at the university and in the community. So we thank you, Mrs. Nikki, and we love you, we salute you, we wish you well on your next journey. But as I was saying before, Kuamka is another way to highlight Black student leadership on campus. So Quoran and Akua will be telling you all about their experience, their pageant journey, and what it takes to be Mr. and Mrs. Kuamka. But first, before we get into hearing from Quoran and Akua, I'd like to remind you to check out the Cincinnati Herald this week. You can pick up a copy of the newspaper at your local Kroger, Walgreens, UDF, Joseph Beth Bookseller, or any newspaper stand around the city. You can also go to thecincinnatiherald.com and subscribe to get mail delivery. So we are on Zoom and Facebook Live on the Cincinnati Herald's page. So if you have any questions or comments throughout the show, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I will be looking at the comments, so if you have any questions for Quoran and Akua, Mr. and Mrs. Kuamka, let us know. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome Quoran Knights and Akua Wilson, Mr. and Mrs. Kuamka 2020. It's an honor to have you on my show today, and it's a privilege to know you two. And I'm very excited to chat all about you two, the Kuamka experience, your pageant journey, and what it takes to be Mr. and Mrs. Kuamka, because what does it take to be Mr. and Mrs. Kuamka? So welcome, King and Queen.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. It's great to see you. It's great to hear from you. Oh, is this your mom in the waiting room? Akua, Michelle Wilson?
Yes, dude.
We can go ahead and admit her in.
No.
No, you got to. Your mama.
Just tell her to stay on the live. Tell her to go on the live.
Okay. We'll let her in later, just in case she has a question. But it's great to hear from you. You guys look amazing. So, for people that don't go to UC, or people that don't go to UC, they don't really know what Kuamka is unless they're involved in the center or they've just heard about it. So students that go to UC, they know that Kuamka is not just like a pageant, you're competing for like the crown. It's an actual experience that you go through and that you can attend and whatnot. So I know that I can relate to the Kuamka experience because I competed in 2018, the Kuamka pageant, when Denzel and Lauren won. But there's like a process you have to go through when you're going through the Kuamka experience, with like signing up, writing an essay, and whatnot. So can you all briefly touch on what that was like with the application process, or like what inspired you to go after this experience and to sign up in general?
I think the first thing was just like the application was due with the essay, like a part of it. I actually like say this all the time and it's really funny, but the application was due on my birthday. And that was like the only reason that I really like took the leap and did it, because I was thinking about it, but I was like, I don't know if I want to do it. Do I want to do it this year? Do I want to do it next year? And then I was like, okay, it's due on my birthday. That has to mean something. That has to be a sign. So that's genuinely how I applied. That's really there all is to it, like the first part being the application and the essay. And then all of the other parts that we competed in were the actual week of Kuamka week, which was like the last week of January or something like that. That was when the rest of the competition was. So like the only thing that was at the beginning before the experience was the essay.
For me, I was really on the fence. Like I knew people were going to try to encourage me to do it just on how involved I was, how impactful, I guess, I made a difference in the community. But in the same sense, I was in my head, I'm like, do I really deserve the position? Do I deserve the role, the honor? Mm-hmm. So I was kind of hit or miss until they ended up extending the deadline for guys to get more applicants. And at that point, I was like, I gotta turn in this application. I had 2 or 3 friends in my room with me, helping me edit my essay before it was due, sending it to 4 or 5 people outside of Cincinnati to make sure I had a few edits. My mom, a few of her coworkers. It was just, at that point, I was like, I'm committed. I'm gonna get this in. Mm-hmm. If I get picked, I get picked. If not, I tried. So it was one of those experiences. At the end of the day, I was like, this is it. I can't take back the application, and we're gonna go move forward with whatever happens.
Right. So like as you were saying, there's like different events throughout the week. So like first you have to submit your application, then you get picked. So you're entered into that journey. So you all had the chance to like do a photo shoot, and what your theme this year was Light the Way, correct? Mm-hmm. Awesome. So they usually have like themes that they choose that they hold throughout the whole week. So, and like you said, they have like an interview process, and then there's a talent show, and then what else am I missing? There's the ball at the end. So you all have to go through different categories. So during the talent show, you all did. You danced Akua, and Quran, you did a monologue. Is that what you would call that?
Word, monologue.
Spoken word? Okay. So, for both of your guys' pieces, you all had a meaning behind it. So I definitely want you all to touch on that. So, Quran, I'm not sure if did you guys win talent?
I did not.
You did not.
No.
Well, you all both did really well overall. So I know, Karan, you did like spoken word about your Toyota experience. So can you touch on what you're doing with that? Because I know you said a couple days ago that you're interning with Toyota right now. So can you touch on like what the meaning behind your talent piece was with Toyota? And then I'll also be sharing some like little slideshow later for people to like see your experience, your Kuamka experience. But I would like for you both to touch on what your talent pieces were about.
So the piece I wrote was actually my first written poem ever. It was kind of to portray the journey of different lessons that my father and my stepfather have put in my life since I've been growing up. Just the progression from being a young kid to high schooler to now a college student. Just kind of reflect on and almost like a ode to them, that to let them know that I was listening. I understood. I've seen the lessons. I know what you were trying to get across over the years. I'm getting it now. So it was different because walking into talent, I did not know what I was going to do. I had no clue. I knew singing's not my skill. I'm not really athletic enough to dance. Not artistic with my hands, so it was up in the air. So I attempted to write a poem, and it came out great, honestly. And I ended with a monologue talking about my Toyota experience. So in the summer of 2018, I was one of 20 students that got invited to Toyota headquarters for an interview process through Rainbow Push Excel. Jesse Jackson's coalition is just his push for education and further and things beyond that. And with that interview process came a $75,000 scholarship for 10 students over the course of 3 years, as well as 2 internship positions and the opportunity possibly to earn a full-time position after we graduate for African American or minority business and STEM students. That experience alone opened my eyes to what the world has to offer and how much we as a Black man, I feel like there's so much more I can do and see, but you don't get that with the experiences that your parents or your community show you because of how limited it can be. It recently, on my second rotation with Toyota, I was working in supplier performance management to help kind of just grade suppliers, make sure their quality of work was up to Toyota standards. And I had the opportunity to help pretty much run a major report that goes out to all the North American suppliers that Toyota use. And the funny thing is that I felt like it was just a task I was helping my team with, but getting feedback from my manager, he said it's really amazing how quick I was able to catch on, and just the opportunities that I was given, because the last person to do that report had a good 20 plus years of experience doing the same report. So they knew how it functioned, but I jumped in and kind of worked with my teammates to get it done. It's just a lot of opportunities I see Toyota show me in the industry, as well as a chance to give back to those behind me and may have the opportunity as me.
Right. Wonderful. Good.
Thank you.
So like you danced Akua, so and yours was centered around women, correct? If I remember.
Yeah, so I've been dancing for a while. I've been dancing since I was maybe like 3, maybe 4. So like when it came to talent, there wasn't really like any question what else I was doing. It boiled down to like what type of dance what song and everything like that. And I'm super indecisive, so I literally changed my song up until maybe like December. I finally settled on a song. And it was a little bit stressful because I kept changing it and kept changing like the pace of what I wanted to do, but I knew that I wanted to do like tap because it's always been my favorite form of dance. I just never really got to do it as much because it's just not super popular, especially at the competitions in like the area that I was in and things like that. Like performing tap, doing things like that a lot all year round was just not really normal. And so when I did have tap, I like treasured it and I really loved it. But when I came to college, I literally just like didn't think about my tap shoes. Like, of course I'm not going to be tapping here. Like I was on a dance team and like, even then it was like, I'm not tapping, I'm not doing ballet or anything. And so I wanted to kind of like bring that back to kind of like tie it in because I've been doing a lot of hip hop. I've been doing a lot of like jazzy things. So yeah, mine was centered around just kind of like, there was this spoken word called What If a Black Girl Knew? It came out maybe, I was in like maybe 8th grade. So it came out a while ago. And basically just a spoken word kind of song to a beat, just saying that like, literally imagine how powerful I could be if I knew my potential. Like if I didn't allow other people to tell me who I was, like imagine what I could do. And I just really love that message. And I feel like that's just something that really guides me. Like, imagine what I can do if I don't let people tell me who I can be. And then into that, like, was just another song called Black Woman, which I felt like tied in really, really well, just because everything in it was just talking about how like society like takes what we have and doesn't like it on us, but likes it on other people. And just like, it tied in really, really well. And so I really appreciated that and I enjoyed it. And I had so much fun choreographing and like making things up for myself. Like when I was in high school and when I was younger dancing, it was mostly like somebody choreographed, I got choreography and I did it, right? And like I just put the passion into the moves, but like I got to actually put my passion into the choreography, which was really exciting for me.
Yeah, and you both all did really well. And just like being in the room where you all were doing your rehearsals and me being a coach and everyone else, seeing the process of you all being able to evolve from like the beginning to the end with your talent and everything else was like amazing to watch. So I know like a lot of people, they were afraid to do a Kuamka because they were very intimidated by like the Q&A session because it's really challenging. So how did you all feel about like that experience? Like, because I know there was like 4 rounds. It was like an easy round, then it got harder and harder, and they're pulling from like Black history from on campus, outside of campus, everywhere. So how did that feel? What was that experience like? Because I know for me, I was like,
yeah, it still haunts me. It's like the SATs or like the ACTs. Like you got to do it. It's definitely gonna make you a better person, but it's awful, like all the way through. I feel like I'm definitely a better public speaker now. I'm better at just kind of like thinking of things on the spot. I'm better at like knowing facts and remembering facts, because that was a lot of it, was just like me with a Quizlet with like 300 terms and people and names of things and names of buildings and historic events, and just memorizing them and reading them every day and like making them a part of like my common knowledge. And I feel like that has made me like pick up on more vocabulary, because now when I notice things, I notice them more and I kind of like study them more than I did before. But yeah, Q&A was not. So I genuinely remember like that day being like, this is the thing that's gonna get me. Like, this is the one. Like everything else was very nerve-wracking, obviously. But Q&A was just like, it was like, and I'm so glad that it was at the beginning of the week, because like, as soon as it was over, I was like, okay, we're good, we're fine, everything's okay.
Yeah, y'all are that's definitely the hot seat competition. So but you also did like a platform board session before the Q&A session. So I know you two both have wonderful platforms. So can you all touch on your platforms as well?
I can. Mine was entitled Stay the Course. So I focused my platform on increasing the retention of African American students in the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. So we currently sit under 2% of the entire college of engineering applied sciences African American students do. But that's coming in. The numbers dwindle as the years go on. So the same 2% that come in do not finish. Not all of them finish. So I wanted to push to make sure students knew that they had a community within the college, had resources, had advocates, had opportunities. So if engineering is really what they wanted to do, they had the help and support to stay there, because majority of the times when a student leaves engineering, it's not only because engineering is not their passion. Most of the time, engineering is their passion. They want to go through with engineering, but engineering in college is extremely difficult. It's even more difficult when you can be the only one in the classroom of your identity. So in my major, I'm the only African American male in my co-op rotation with classes and co-ops. So it gets daunting. It gets hard. It feels like I am taking on the world by myself, and I need to be the perfect token Black person. And I can understand why somebody does not want to feel like that and want to get into a program where they feel they have more support, more of a community, more students in the classroom with them. So I wanted to focus on mental health, tabling to make sure they know events coming up, scholarships, different offices that can offer programs and things like that, and just hopefully create a small mentor program that could continue to be used throughout the years, even after I leave, to make sure students just matriculate, because we can't continue to increase numbers of Black students graduating, no matter the major, until we start efforts and put systems in place to help them and make sure they feel like they are wanted.
Right. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Go ahead.
So my platform is titled Dissolving Division. So basically it's just centered around empathy and kind of understanding and community. Something that I immediately realized when I got to UC is that like our sense of community is very blurry, it's very lost. We're a very disconnected campus. Like there's so many of us, but pre-pandemic, we walked around and we said nothing to each other. Like we would just pass by each other. There maybe might be the Black students every once in a while that say hi, or your friends that you see, your people that you see in dorm. But other than that, like it's just not very interconnected at all. And I feel like I come from a neighborhood that's very like you say hi to everybody while you're walking, you know, like we all know each other. Even if we don't know each other, like we're looking out for each other, like we all kind of have each other's backs. And for me, radical empathy really is kind of the solution to that. It's basically the act of putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, but really radically, right? And so if somebody's telling you something, instead of trying to be sympathetic and saying, oh, I'm so sorry, or trying to make them happier, being empathetic, right? Saying that like, I've been there, I can imagine how you feel. What do you need from me? You know, exposing yourself to that vulnerability is really, really important. And I feel like in order to do that, we kind of have to break down this level that we have built up, this wall of like this non-community idea that we have.
Right. So I think my next question would be, so of course the pandemic hit us at the end of the school year. So that kind of cut off your reign on campus. So considering that we are going back to school in a couple weeks, how do you all plan on implementing your platform in this new hybrid and on-campus, off-campus environment? And what did it feel like? Because I don't think there's ever been like a point where, you know, a Kuamka king or queen had to cut off their reign like that, you know, just go back home or whatever. So tell us about that, like that experience of not being able to be on campus anymore, to like implement your platform and just, you know, represent yourself as Mr. and Mrs. Kuamka. And then what do you all plan on doing now in the future with this whole new learning that we're about to go into? Either one of you.
I guess so. It was a lot to take in at once with classes being cut off, having to move out,
Yeah.
our rain being cut short in person. It was just like everything started tumbling down at the same time, and you didn't have a chance to collect your thoughts and really plan in the moment. So you kind of just had to react quick. It was hard because one of the first events we were supposed to really be prominent in is Taimba at the end of the year, the Black graduation. I've always been on the move the last 3 years between co-op and work and stuff like that. So I haven't been able to see it physically, and this year was going to be even more experience because I was going to be in front a few times speaking to students. So that felt a little. It hurt. It did hurt. I was nervous because of the speaking engagement, but it's a sense of involvement, community, and celebration that you can't really find anywhere. That it can't be fully portrayed virtually. So it's like one of those things. If you're not there, you can't really get the full effect. So going into this year, it's been a lot of thought about how I'm gonna make my platform work. Initially, I was going to do a lot of tabling, be in the community, be there in front of students, make sure they know I'm here. This is what I'm trying to do. I want to be able to help you. What can I do to help you? What do you need from me? Things like that, just really connecting face to face. That's not possible with the pandemic. Virtual and hybrid learning, students are going to be all over. Some may not even be in Cincinnati. So I have to really use Zoom, WebEx, Microsoft Teams, try to create opportunities where I am open. This is a forum. Ask me questions. I'm trying to actually use my connections with Toyota to with their African American collaborative. It's their identity group to kind of get some members from the collaborative to speak to freshman students, speak to sophomore students, undergraduates that aren't too sure in the moment of, is engineering really what I want to do, to kind of give them encouragement, kind of give them tools. So this summer I was able to do a LinkedIn training, a resume building training that helped me, and just there's a lot of team members and employees in Toyota that are willing to help students pursue their professional goals, but it takes someone connecting them. So I want to be that bridge to bring in as many people from any company, but starting with Toyota because of my connection, to kind of help them see this is where you can be in 5 years. It's possible. You can do it. But in the same sense, this is some things that they did to get here. So we can touch up your resume. We can work on interview skills. We can talk about how the microaggressions in class bother you and how you can get around the microaggressions, how you can dealing with the majority in the classroom and just not feel ostracized by everybody, and just be able to build up professionally, emotionally, and mentally as a Black person and keep on pushing forward, because we have been and continually pushed down for years, no matter the instance, but we always find a way to stand up. And it's because of the support of the people around us that we stand up.
For sure. That's the first thing I thought about, because I was like, dang, their rain got cut off short. I wonder what they're going to do. But, like, that gives you an opportunity now to, like, implement something with your platform. Like, this school year, if you want to do some things virtually, like maybe use some things on social media, start, like, an Instagram page for your platform, just have different programs where you have the students come in virtually. That's always an option, just to keep your platform going, But then Aquaba is also coming up. So are you all I know you all are participating in Aquaba, which is a virtual event this year. So are you guys excited about that?
Yes.
Awesome. So you guys know what you'll be doing. And for people who don't know, Aquaba is the Black Student Welcome at UC. So the Kuamka King and Queen usually participate in Kuamka every year by hosting. So I wonder how that's going to be this year.
Yeah. I know we are going to like a space to kind of like lead alleviate everything. So I think that's good. That's exciting that we at least get to be there doing it, not just kind of over Zoom. But also, I think it's going to be very interesting because it's not the same. Like, I feel like a lot of the magic in Aquaba is kind of like that feeling that, like, especially as a freshman, like that feeling of, first of all, being at a PWI and then just like walking into Aquaba, the first Black event of the year. It's just truly a different feeling. And so I just really hope that like the freshmen don't miss out on that experience because of everything going on. But I know there's not really very many other options. So it's just like, you know, what can we really do about it? But also I think it's going to be as good as it possibly can, especially with the people who are working on it. Like, I do not doubt our team at all. I doubt the ACRC. I don't doubt them at all. I think they're gonna really do great. I think it's gonna be beautiful. It just really, really sucks that it can't be in person.
Yeah, it does. So like going back to your platform, Akua, I know because I was talking to you a little bit last semester that you were planning on doing like a conference. So I know like that got kind of smashed. So what are you all planning on doing with that?
Well, so luckily the conference happened before we left. So my conference, I have been working on it since maybe I had been working on it since maybe last July. It was something that I was really passionate about, and then I just kind of picked up when I got into Kuamka, like made it more serious, kind of more solidified. So I had my conference maybe a week or two after Kuamka. And that went really well. It was honestly all I could have hoped for. It was great. Amazing. Could have cried. Like, it was great. I was very excited, and just to kind of see like what I worked so hard for be put into action was very exciting. But my plan for this semester was to implement kind of like a weekly workshop, bi-weekly workshop type of situation, and I'm definitely still working on that. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more virtual. I'm trying to work on a way right now to get it more flexible, so that people can kind of access it. It doesn't have to be a specific day, specific time. You can just kind of access it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But I'm also really hoping that by the time spring rolls around and my conference comes up the next time, we can do it. Hopefully. We're just going to really prep.
Yeah, good luck to you. So I know like they have the Kuamka ball too. So that's where everyone comes together to ball. You all get to dress up in gowns, do like your final little walk before they announce the king and queen. So I know nobody expects to be crowned the king and queen of Kuamka, but like when you all were crowned, I know I have pictures. You guys were very shocked. So I'm going to show those people so everybody can see your experience. But, you know, what was that feeling like being able to represent UC and the Black community, not just the Black community, but UC as a whole? Because, you know, we're all cohesive. So being able to have that leadership role, how did that feel?
It was like, it didn't sink in at first. Like, it was like, I don't know. Like, if somebody told you you won the lottery, right? Like, you would be like, no, I didn't. What are you saying? I didn't win the lottery. That's literally how I was. I was like, you said my name? Me. Akua, you sure? You positive? And then even like that whole day, just everybody walking up to me saying congratulations, like, it was so just like, yeah, thanks. And then maybe like a week or two later, it just like hit me. I don't even know what I was doing. I was like laying in bed or something, or I had just woken up, and it just like hit me, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, we're gonna go with it. But it was very exciting. Like, it felt very cathartic. That whole week was so crazy. And so like for that to be the outcome, I felt so like my hard work had paid off, because I was very sick that week. We were all going through it, like very stressed, just running around like a chicken with our head cut off all the time. And just like that feeling of just like release, like that's exactly how it felt.
Yeah, that's great, because I wasn't there, but I saw pictures and your reaction and just like the process leading up to it, and it all was amazing. And for you two to be able to be crowned, that was awesome. And I was very excited, very happy that you all were both crowned. So because you guys are like the face of the AACRC, and that's a huge role, face of a whole center at the university. So like what advice would you give to, you know, the UC Black community, UC students in general at UC with like this new whole learning that's going on? Because I know a lot of students are discouraged. Online learning isn't for everyone. Everybody is like, their minds are blown. They don't really know what to do. They're just going along with the process. So what would be some advice you would give to these students at UC and just in general around the world?
I will say first, I understand online learning is not my strongest. It's not my strong suit. It's not. I try my hardest. It's just my focus ends up all over the place. I still get the work done, but it's all over. So one thing I would advise students, especially in UC Black community, we are all in the same situation. We are all trying to find innovative ways to stay connected. So try it and be okay with failure, because nothing's going to work the first time perfectly. It's not. So take those instances and learn from it, because we all need to figure out new ways to do what we've been doing for years, and make sure it stays effective and we stay connected. But it's going to take a collective effort and pushing through failure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My advice would honestly just be to like look forward to the future. Like that's been my whole thing during everything. Like, yes, this sucks. Yes, virtual learning is awful. I hate it. But at the end of the day, like I'm trying to get my degree and I'm trying to go. I'm trying to get my degree and I'm trying to go create generational wealth. So if it's what I got to do, is what I got to do. You know what I mean? Like there's always going to be something that's going to get in your way. There's always going to be an obstacle. And at the end of the day, this is only going to be something that's going to make me stronger in the outcome rather than breaking me down. So why, like, not dwell, because it really does suck. And sometimes I really do have to dwell, right? But like, why kind of make excuses for myself when I could just be doing what I need to do and grinding and coming out of this just so much better than letting it get me down, even though it really sucks.
Right.
You make your own emotions, you make your own fun, you make your own everything, right? And so like really like find something that you enjoy, find something that makes you happy, find something that's going to make you sane during this time, and like really hone in on it and make everything about that.
Yeah. Wonderful. So for everyone that's watching, we have Miss Akua and Quoran here. They're Mr. and Mrs. Kuamka at UC, which is a pageant that's held in the African American Cultural Resource Center. And not only is it a pageant, it's an experience. So for anyone that wants to, you know, be a part of this experience or to, you know, compete in the Kuamka pageant, they have to sign up. First of all, they have to write an essay, right? I don't think it's a hard essay. You know, they just throw out a question, they vote on the question, you have to write an essay about it. So that, along with having a certain GPA requirement, and along with some other credentials to sign up, goes along with that. And then they have, during the competition, there's the talent, then there's Q&A in the platform. I'm trying to think of all the, you know,
interview.
Yeah, the interview. And those are all the, you know, the ones that are counted towards winning, correct? Okay. Then there's also a ball, and then there's 2 programs. I think there's one on the off days, like when there's not competition, on Tuesday and Friday, I believe. Other programs where people can attend. So it's a great experience. I've been a part of it before. It's awesome. So anybody that attends UC, incoming freshmen or students that are already at UC, definitely join. And if you all want to give some advice as well for anybody that's on the edge that wants to join, you can say that as well. You have anything?
Like Nike, just do it.
Yeah, you literally have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's gonna be a great experience, win or lose. Like, it wasn't even like genuinely, it wasn't even winning that has made, or even being Miss Kuamka that has made this experience like the best for me. It was going through that, like, truly pressure makes diamonds, because the pressure, you will be stressed, you will have a lot of pressure on you, you will go crazy, you will, right? But it's gonna make you such a better person on the outside. So like, why wouldn't you just like put up with what you gotta put up with to get to it?
I remember putting in tireless hours on my platform board, tireless hours on my talent, trying to prepare for this Q&A because I was like, listen, I'm about to embarrass myself up here.
Right.
But it was definitely challenging, but I would encourage everyone to, you know, get involved with that because it's a great experience and it makes you a better person at the end of the day. So definitely get involved with that. But like, what are some of the events you all were able to attend? Because I know you all were able to attend like a lot of different events on campus. Not sure if you did any events outside of campus, but what are some of the events you all were able to attend as Mr. and Mrs. Kuamka? Because I know did you guys do the Onyx and Ruby Ball?
Yes. Wow. Yeah. We literally both just forgot. Like we were all thinking about something.
Yeah, because I know your reign was cut off so short, so you weren't really able to do as much as you wanted to, because you have a whole year to do everything you need to in your reign from January to January. So, but I know you went to the Onyx and Ruby Ball. What are some of the other things? Did you all get a chance to do anything?
I did like small things like with my college. So CH had like a diversity day that I just stopped by. And it was definitely something else. I don't remember. Oh, it was I forget the organization's name, but they asked me to come speak to like kids that basically have mentors that go to UC. And so I just kind of like came and like spoke to the kids. And it was really funny because they didn't really know what was going on. They didn't know what Kuamka was. And it's like, when you try to explain things to kids, they do not retain the information at all. Like they just ask the next question. And so like, every question was the same question in a different way, and I was just like, yes, exactly. Yeah. And they didn't understand, but it was the cutest thing.
Yeah, because like a lot of people, like they don't really know, like I said before, a lot of people don't really know what Kuamka is. If you don't go to UC, if you're not an AACRC, or if you don't work at UC or whatever, you don't really know what Kuamka is. So like my thing is, I think it would be really cool. That's why I wanted to bring you guys on this show, because I wanted to expand the platform of Kuamka for people to know what it is, know who's behind it and whatnot, and just, you know, because you can always utilize your platform outside of the UC community. We have a whole community, City of Cincinnati community, that can tap into the Mr. and Mrs. Kuamka pageant. Because there's a lot of different things, different organizations, different events, different everything in Cincinnati that you all can get involved with. So I know we're in the middle of a pandemic, but if you want to like partner with other organizations in the city of Cincinnati to like expand your platform, expand this whole organization at UC, that would be great. You know what I'm saying? So I have a little slideshow for people to look at. It has like pictures of the Kuamka experience of you in Quoran, just like throughout the Kuamka week. So I want people to see this so that they can actually visualize how it was and just some of your reactions. So I'll go ahead and screen share my screen and let people see this, okay? 1 second, people. All right. Cool. Can you see my screen? I think so. Cool. All right. So it's in like little photos. So we'll go ahead and play this. Akua and Kron's row throughout the Kuamka week. So that just gives you a visualization of what it was like. So yeah, that was awesome. But and as you were seeing in the video, there was a lot of different people that competed. We had like, I don't know how many guys it was or girls, but it was like a group of you all. So you all were able to build like friendships and a family. So what was that like, being able to connect with other different Black students at UC in this pageant?
I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
It's like we were competing, but we were helping each other compete.
Oh yeah, like these are like my best friends now. Like these are my people.
Honestly, when our names got called, it felt like it could have been any of us up there. So I was, the shock on my face was truly shocked, because I felt like the people next to me could have won as much as I won. So,
and the support that we had for each other, like even if they did win, it was like I was going to be equally as excited, because like the amount that all of us worked, how the amount of talent that was on that stage, the amount like of countless hours that we all put into our platforms, how great our platforms was, like each and every one of us had truly something amazing. And I feel like that's just what Kuamka did to us, right? Like that's why we were there, that's why we ended up there, but also like that's just like what the journey did to us. And like that's kind of, it shows just like how it kind of spits out greatness, because every single one of us are just like great people, like we're great people before, but just are so much better people after. But yeah, most of those people, like we all are family now. Like we go out every once in a while, we try to catch up as much as possible, you know, pandemic and all. But yeah, it was like definitely a bond that's just like unforgettable that was built between all of us.
Right, and that's the best thing about Kuamka, because it's not only just like a pageant you're competing against each other. I know a lot of people, or like regular pageants, that's more of like they have that idea in the back of their head that they have to compete and they want to win. But like with this, you're a family and you're helping each other win, and that's the best part. You get to build a family, friendships, long-lasting friendships, and like and all that. So it's awesome. So I would definitely encourage anyone that goes to UC to sign up, be a part of the Kuamka Experience pageant. And for any other people outside of the UC student community, definitely support this. Come to the Kuamka week, come to the ball, just see what it's all about, just experience it and see the excellence, the Black excellence at UC, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Do you have any last thoughts or anything that you would like to leave here with us? You two, King and Queen.
Excited to see what the future holds. I'm excited to put my platform into play and just help as many people as possible. It's a new beginning.
Yeah, I can only second that. I'm very excited to see what this year will bring. Really random. Everybody make sure you're registered to vote. You know, voting season is approaching rapidly. And with everything mailing and everything going on, we're going to make sure we're on top of everything. So make sure you guys get out, register to vote, get your absentee ballots, do it all early so you don't even have to worry about it when the time comes.
Right. So for people that would like to connect with you and just keep up with like your pageant journey in general, where can they do that at?
So most of it's going to be on the center's Instagram and Facebook page, just anything that we're doing. Separately, my Instagram name is just my first name separated by a period in the middle, so ak.ua. I don't post very often, but when I do, it's mainly about the things that I'm doing on campus or whatever's going on. And if anybody has any questions or wants to reach out to me at all, feel free to do that.
Same, honestly. Most of our events will be on the center's page, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. My Instagram is Q Knights, KNIGHTS 12. I'm Quoran Knights on LinkedIn. I honestly, if you see me in person, please speak up. I will talk to you. I love a conversation. Give me a different perspective about a topic.
Yes. I'm a very jolly person. I'm always gonna say hi. that blew out the window. But if you introduce yourself to me, like there will never be a moment when I will not be like, hey, how are you? And I will talk to you. We could go have coffee, anything. But yeah, we're just here for you. I think that's like our big thing. It's just that like this position is a representative of the students. And so in order to be that, we have to actively be talking to students, be gauging their interests, be seeing what they like, because yes, we are students, but we don't speak for everybody. We don't know everybody's opinion, right? And so just making sure that we're gauging really what campus looks like, so we know that what we're representing, right? So that we know how to represent people well.
Yeah. Like I said before, like you guys are role models at UC. So being able to be connected not only in the AACRC, but other organizations on campus and centers at campus would be great as well. Because I know I know you two said you won't be on campus this semester. You'd be doing all online work.
Yeah, most of my classes are online. I maybe have one lab in person, but that can be changed with at the drop of a dime.
And that sucks, considering that you two are both holding this, prestigious title, but being able to accommodate, work things out where you still are able to, fulfill your platform and be an impact to other people, be great. So, yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. But guess I'll go ahead and wrap this show now. You all did phenomenal, and it was an honor to have you on my show today. So I really enjoyed the opportunity of being able to speak to you two this evening. So thank you again for being here with me. I really hope that everyone listening enjoyed the interview and learned a lot about Quoran and Akua, their pageant journey, and the Kuamka experience and the history behind Kuamka. So please be sure to support and connect with Quoran and Akua on their social media. And also be sure to follow the African American Cultural Resource Center on Instagram at UCAACRC, and like their Facebook page, which is African American Cultural Resource Center. I think it's Common University of Cincinnati. And follow the center on Twitter at UCAACRC as well. Just keep up with the Black student community and beyond at UC. And like Akua and Quoran said, most of their reign will also be, put on those social media accounts, and you can follow their personal ones as well, just to keep up with their journey. But lastly, don't forget to tune back in next week for the 11 a.m. show with Michael Higgs and the 6 p.m. show with Asia Harris. And I will also see you all again on September 5th at 11 a.m. with Morgan Owens. We will be hosting the show together, and we will be highlighting the Cincinnati Herald and Morgan A. Owens Black Women Book Expo authors and vendors. There are 18 authors and 5 vendors that will be highlighting. We were supposed to host the event back in March, but COVID ruined it. So we will be highlighting and interviewing the wonderful authors and vendors during the morning September 5th Influencer Show. So be sure to spread the word and tune in, and everyone is invited. And also be sure to check out the Influencer Show on the Herald TV YouTube channel, like the Cincinnati Herald on Facebook, and follow us at Cincy Herald on Twitter and Instagram. And as always, you can visit us at thecincinnatiherald.com. There weren't any questions today, but we had a lot of people tuning in, Quoran and Akua, even Ms. Awa Nikki. She said, hey, fam. So, yeah. Other than that, thank you to everyone that tuned in today, to the influencers at home. Thank you again to Quoran Knights and Akua Wilson, Mr. and Mrs. Kuamka 2020. I'll see you all again on September 5th at 11 a.m. with my co-host, Morgan Owens. Stay healthy, everyone, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.